Who did it better? Afghanistan 2021 is going to go down as the worst military blunder of all time. It's beyond belief that our intel and military got this so wrong. There's the Pentagon, the CIA, and the White House, all the alleged best and brightest military minds in the world, somehow came to the conclusion that broadcasting a pullout of country on a date certain was a good idea. It's incomprehensible these people could get it this wrong. Now, I have a theory. These groups all went woke. Yep, from the White House to the CIA to the military, woke, woke, and woke. The elevation of a liberal leftist into the White House has spread the woke like a coronavirus throughout the Biden administration. Now, remember the intel departments and the Pentagon get their marching orders from the commander-in-chief in the White House? So when the White House goes woke, so do the department heads. Watch the top military general in the administration, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, proudly proving his wokeness to Congress.
I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America?
Come on, General Milley. Maybe you should have been wargaming out the potential downsides for the Afghanistan exit. I mean, a 10-year-old could have told you the Afghan army would roll the minute America left their country. But guess what, folks? General Milley may be just a weak-kneed woke liberal, or maybe he's just trying to bootlick his boss, Joe Biden. I report, you decide. But the intel department's usually pretty awesome, one would think, one would hope. These guys and gals are the ones charged with gaining intel on our many, many enemies around the world. Sorry to say, even the CIA has gone woke. Check out this recruiting video for the agency.
I'm a woman of color. I am a mom. I am a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I am intersectional, but my existence is not a box-checking exercise. Know your worth. Command your space. Mija, you're worth it.
Right there. That's the CIA, folks. That looks more like a recruiting video for a Starbucks in San Francisco than the Central Intelligence Agency. But heck, maybe they're also just appeasing the boss, Joe B. After all, look at how the White House is promoting vaccines with a very, very woke gender bender campaign using social media influencers to make their point.
One sec. Democracy's calling. See you, Daddy. Bye.
Hi, my name is Cooper, and this is a day in my life as a White House intern. This is actually the entrance to the West Wing. This is so fun, and it's really prestigious.
Hey, POTUS.
Is Olivia Rodrigo still here?
No.
So it appears going woke was the way to get into the good graces of the president, the Pentagon, and the CIA's commander-in-chief, after all. As I've been saying, go woke, go broke, folks. In this case, going broke being the billions of dollars worth of equipment, guns, ammo, buildings, and air bases we left behind in Afghanistan because we had to flee in the dead of night. Bagram Air Base cost $96 million and 5 other military bases. Our embassy, $700 million. Hundreds of Humvees, dozens of Army helicopters worth $6 million each, high-tech drones, it goes on and on. All total, billions in assets we abandoned. Hand over to our sworn enemy. They're laughing at us. Not only did we just run away from them, we handed them some state-of-the-art high-tech military assets to fight us with. Pure incompetence on our side. So let's answer the question, who did it better? Well, the Taliban did it better than you, Joe. They're eating your lunch, or in this case, your ice cream. Some say our mission in Afghanistan ended with the death of Osama bin Laden nearly 10 years ago. We're now joined by the guy who killed bin Laden, former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill, good friend of mine. Rob, thank you for joining us. We had a little technical issue yesterday. We got you back in the seat today. Thank goodness we got you.
Man, it's so good to talk to you again. I'm here.
You too, my friend. You know, before we came to air, there's some news that broke, or some alleged news that broke, that there was a Gitmo detainee. We remember this guy, Bo Bergdahl. He's confirmed now back with the Taliban. So we let these guys go, and they rehook up with who they really are, where their DNA comes from. What are your thoughts on those prisoner swaps?
It's part of the problem of having a woke generation and a bunch of yes men If you show me a 4-star general, I'll show you 10 people around him kissing his butt and lying to him, telling me exactly what he wants to hear because they want their job too. Anyone on the ground, including myself, any combat veteran, man or woman, I don't care which branch, would have told you exactly what these Taliban guys are going to do, would have told you exactly how long it's going to take the Taliban to retake Kabul and how the Afghans are going to flee. And it's so simple. It's almost, if I hear one more beta male from this administration say, well, we have the assurance of the Taliban that we can get everyone to the airport, it's complete nonsense. We're not letting tough guys fight the wars anymore. They were getting so bad at us, and not just this administration, but just putting rules on people to fight. Make sure you don't kill them in a mean way. Just do it nice. You can see it coming through every place, everything from it's a testing ground for social awareness. When we should send Marines to fight and kill and leave. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because I want to talk about fight, kill, and leave because you killed bin Laden, but we never seem to have left the godforsaken area. But let's talk about what you said, beta males running around Washington and the Pentagon. Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, when he started on Capitol Hill talking about he wanted to further understand white rage, what does that tell a soldier in the battlefield is going on?
It tells you that if he's so willing to get in front of Congress, in front of the cameras, and start yapping his mouth about white rage, the day it comes out, but you can't hear from the senior officer in the United States military, at the worst defeat in our history, not a peep, because he's too busy. He's not busy. He's incompetent. When I was in the military, if you screwed up, you either get fired or you resign or you die. That's it. And these people, no one's going to lose a job. Anyone, including the president, can say the buck stops here, but it doesn't. And this will be over in a couple of days. We don't have enough reporters on the ground in Afghanistan or intel resources to know what is happening. I can tell you what's going to happen, and it's amazing the brutality that people are capable of doing to each other, especially these people. But we won't hear about it again because you're going to lose the ratings. CNN said their thing. A couple other people said their thing, and they even called the Taliban peaceful protesters while they're chanting "Death to America." That's kind of where we're at right now. Just a lot of this stuff. If you've noticed, most stuff that far leftists touch, they destroy. Not in a good way. It's not like when you go in and crush an enemy. It's when you go in and destroy pro sports, or you go in and destroy everything you touch just because of your wokeness. It's nonsense, and this is what you get.
Rob, okay, so SEAL Team 6, you went in there, you trained for a really long time. You knew everything about these people. You knew everything about bin Laden. You walk up those stairs that one early morning, and you put 2 into bin Laden, one in his forehead, I think one in his chest, double tapped him. Did you think that would signal the end of the war in Afghanistan and the Middle East? So was it time for us to get out then?
I thought my first few trips to Afghanistan, I thought we had it won in 2004, 2005. Just because the people were happy, the Taliban was gone, and it was good. We didn't need to surge like we did. It's not a one-size-fits-all surge in Iraq, surge in Afghanistan. Surge in Iraq worked, not in Afghanistan, whatever. We needed to keep a group there for cross-border intelligence to go in and kill bin Laden. And I love the fact that we did it simply because we have proved to these people. And, my team did it. Other teams have done it before, where if you're a bad enough person, we'll find you and we'll come get you. And that's all we need to prove. But see, it's not me and my guys that went on the bin Laden raid that came out unharmed that bothers me. It's the people that died in the valleys trying to build a road and a school for people who don't even want it, don't even deserve it. And I know so many kids right now that'll never see their fathers again just because someone somewhere needed to get promoted to a certain spot and get a medal. So we just started sending guys out to fight for what?
Rob, a lot of people are watching right now. Maybe they don't remember May 2nd, 2011. I do. But I want you to just tell us, because here's the issue. The Taliban is saying that they're good people now. They've changed quite a bit. Tell us what bin Laden did right before you put 2 into him.
When I went up the stairs, I was following one brave man in front of me, and because we went up the last set of stairs, he went through a curtain and tackled some people. Because he went one way, I went the other to cover his back, and I saw Osama bin Laden standing up about 3 feet away from me. The last thing he was doing was he had his shoulders on his wife, Amal, and he was pushing her toward me. And that tells you what kind of people these are. They're all about how men are superior, all this stuff, and women are bad. But when it came down to fight, he was trying to get his wife in the way. That's who he was. He shouldn't be loved. And they're not good people. We're the good guys. We didn't hurt a single innocent person in that raid. I can't remember hurting an innocent person because we make sure the people are safe, the kids aren't crying, and that's what good guys do.
Yep. Rob O'Neill, we thank you for making the world a safer place. Good friend of mine, Rob. Everyone, thank you for being here.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.